Avon versus Avon Lake.
People are always going to be excited about it.
Clinton Massey versus Blanchester.
The community, they follow the barrel.
Kent Roosevelt versus Ravenna.
They live and die for this.
Rivalries steeped in tradition and history. City pride fuels the five. Schools battle for a lifetime of bragging rights. Ohio's football royalty on this edition of Varsity Rivals. I'm Tim Bray, and as you'll see today, a good rivalry shares similar elements. Familiarity, you know the kids at the other school. You grew up together, maybe even went to the same grade school. Proximity, not much separates you from your foe. Sometimes it's a highway or a set of railroad tracks. And of course, competition. Two strong teams going head to head, a dramatic finish, a close score. You'll see all these themes in the rivalries that we look at today. Let's begin with two schools separated by a set of railroad tracks. When they first suited up in the 1920s to face off, Avon Lake was the dominant school. After a hiatus in the rivalry, Avon has proven they can hold their own. Now both fight for top position in this border rivalry. Take a look.
Everyone's excited about week one.
People are always going to be excited about it.
Put your knuckles down in the dirt and get ready to punch somebody in the face.
It actually goes back to even when my mom went to Avon school. So Avon and Avon Lake were always this sort of rivalry, but we have a history that we were once together and then separated by the railroad tracks.
Not only are they border rivals, but they played their first head-to-head game in 1939. And in the 73 years since then, they've only played 28 games. Avon Lake has the edge, winning 16 of those 29 games.
Avon Lake kind of outgrew Avon, and they kind of went their separate ways. Avon Lake went in a larger league. Avon, was in a kind of smaller league, so they really didn't play each other in any sports.
We didn't play football for a little over 30 years before we were able to hook up in the fall of 2007. The venue for that was Cleveland Browns Stadium, and the two communities came together to put on a pretty good show to kind of have the rivalry renewed, and fortunately for us, we came out on top 50-25.
And that really helped get our program to where it is today. We've always set our targets at being as successful as Avon Lake in football. I don't think you can really have a true rivalry until it's a competitive balance, and each and every year you really don't know what the outcome will be, and that's what we have.
The interesting fact of it is, though, that we at Avon know is if I ever go around the state of Ohio, kids that even go to college, when they say they're from Avon, they used to say, well, you mean Avon Lake, really good football team. And no, we would always say, no, we're Avon, we're just south of Avon Lake. Now, since this rivalry's kind of heated up and we've had success not only in football and some other sports, when we say we're from Avon, people know that we're not Avon Lake.
As Avon got a little bit bigger, we've rescheduled each other, and we've played the last couple years, and sad to say, Avon's had a good piece of us the last couple years as well.
Anytime that you can add to something that's already good is a better thing. Kind of reminds me of, an ice cream sundae. It's a lot better when you got the whipped cream and cherry on top of it, and I think that's what the rivalry kind of is. I think it gives you that added flavor or that added piece to it to just make it that much more exciting, making that 9 a 10. And I think that the border rivalry with us and Avon does that.
There's a tremendous amount of respect between Avon and Avon Lake. Our players and our community respect them because of all the success that Dave DeLucas and his program have had. Yet at the same time, we aspire to get to that level.
Avon Lake's been a solid program with a great tradition for numerous years and a state championship team. And Avon has always been trying to get up to that level or close to Avon Lake. And I think in recent years, because of their rivalry, Avon has become a better team just by playing Avon Lake, and it's just a great rivalry.
We've been fortunate enough to beat them a couple years. I think that meant a lot to our community because, quite honestly, I think people in our community always kind of felt like it was Avon Lake and then Avon. We were like the stepbrother, the little brother that was trying to aspire to them. But I think we got their attention now, and I think the people in this community take a lot of pride in what we're doing and want people to know that we are Avon.
My daughters being in Avon Lake, are always liking to point out that Avon Lake was this great big state champ, and we were just this little school, and now it's really kind of reversed, that Avon's become this big school, and most people talk about Avon now versus Avon Lake.
The rivalry isn't at that point where you don't mention their names or you're counting down the days till you play type thing. I'm not saying it doesn't have a little of that, but it doesn't have that. It's really more of a respect type thing, and I think a lot of it's been because it's just been such a long time between the two schools playing.
Now there's been talk about doing something relative to like the Golden Spike or something, because there's a railroad track to separate Avon and Avon Lake.
That trophy has been around, but it's kind of fell off as they got bigger than we did. So we're hoping to have a battle for the Golden Spike every year. The significance being that we're separated by a set of railroad tracks, and our communities shop in the same places, eat in the same restaurants, and so there's a lot on the line with that.
Everyone's excited about week one, and the fact that it's the border rivalries going up against each other, it just makes that game more exciting and more eventful.
I remember personally a game moment, our first time playing at Cleveland Brown Stadium, walking in, getting dizzy looking around at the stadium and seeing the excitement in our kids' faces.
What a great experience it was for both communities, and for all the kids getting a chance to use the Browns locker room and getting to that 82,000 seat stadium. That was really memorable, a lot of fun, and what a great way to open the season.
First play of the game, no one really gave Avon a chance to win this football game, but we threw a touchdown pass, jumped out to an early lead, and that excitement was like no other. I think our players at that point realized, hey, we have a chance to play with these guys.
And I'd have to say probably for us, the 2010, again with the opportunity to feel that we're going to play Avon more regularly, that was definitely a goal of ours for a while. But the key to the 2010 game was, again, the dedication of the restructuring and the redoing of the Avon Lake Memorial Stadium and having Avon be our first opponent there. It was a beautiful fall evening. Both communities came out with huge support of their programs.
The stands were packed, the excitement was in the air. There was a great energy and buzz going on around the stadium. Cars were parked probably miles away, people were being bussed in, and it was just an exciting environment to be in.
And then winning at Avon Lake in their new stadium and beating them 21-3, and just seeing the excitement on our players' faces and the level of enthusiasm that, hey, we actually did this was priceless. So that's kind of set the grounds for this rivalry as it continues.
A few years back, I came downstairs all dressed in my purple and gold, and thinking that my daughters, who eat the bread of the Avon local schools, would also be dressed in purple and gold. They were dressed in maroon and gold. So I actually took it out of their allowance, the gas that it cost for them to go downtown for the game, and I used their own allowance to buy their food. I said, if you're going to wear their clothing, I can't support you in this.
It doesn't matter if we played them in the parking lot or if we played them in front of 10,000 people, which we have. It's always going to be a special game.
It'll be a fiery type of competition. There is no doubt about that. When we play each other, the stands are full, the student bodies are a little bit crazy. It's just a wonderful way to start high school football season in Northern Ohio.
It's a rivalry that I want to see carry on for a long, long time. It's a natural border rivalry, and both programs are successful year in and year out, and that makes for always good football.
It always is going to be a big deal, especially to our kids, to play them. We'll play them at any point, whether it be at Brown Stadium here, over there. It's always going to be a big deal, and people are always going to be excited about it.
It has all the makings of a really knockdown drag-out every single year, and it's going to come down to the point that, boy, do we really need to have a tough game like this opening the season. You're going to have to put your knuckles down in the dirt and get ready to punch somebody in the face when the two teams come together.